Now, whatever the problem was taken by the sir, I will be using this Smith's software to verify the answers. And if possible, we can take another cases also or other problems. So as a sir told that you should work with the ZY chart because it is little simpler, because if you are using only Z chart, then it will be very tedious job to reach to the solution. Otherwise, it is possible. You can use a Z chart or Y chart or the combination of ZY chart. So we'll start with the problem. So the impedance taken by sir was 10 ohm and 10 ohm. Okay. And the frequency is 1 gigahertz. So select the frequency, click OK. So the impedance is somewhere here. And the reference impedance, there is 50 ohm. Imaginary part is 0. Now frequency, you can see it is locked to 1 gigahertz. So this time, now no need to alter the frequency. So you have a reference impedance of 50 ohm and the load impedance, suppose it is 10 plus J times of 10 ohm. Now your goal is what? To convert this 10 plus J 10 ohm into what? 50 ohm. Okay. So now you can refer this circuit diagram here. So you can see that the load impedance is 10 plus J 10 at 1 gigahertz. So frequency has to be correct. If you don't have the correct frequency, so your answer is going to vary. Because the reactance is what? Function of frequency. Resistance is independent of frequency, but the reactance is function of frequency. Okay, so if you're not working at correct frequency, you will get different answer. So the load is what? 10 plus J 10 ohm, and the source impedance is 50 ohm. So definitely there is a mismatch, and you can see the magnitude of the mismatch with the help of the another window, which is this cursor window you can use. So you just look at this VSWR and reflection coefficient. So if I move this cursor at load, so you can see the reflection coefficient is 0.66 and angle is 156.488 degree, whereas VSWR is 5.2. Okay, so it's very large figure, so we have to minimize it. How far we have to minimize? We have to make it convert this into ideal situation almost. So if I place this cursor at the center, so you can see that reflection coefficient has reached to almost 0. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir, clearly.
Okay. I thought I got logged off. Okay. So what I was saying, now if the cursor is placed at the center, so you can see that the reflection coefficient reaches to 0 and VSWR, it becomes 1. Okay. So actually our goal is what? To achieve that figure, VSWR of 1 and reflection coefficient of 0 value. How? Just by converting this 10 plus J10 into 50 ohm. So for that, what we can do, see, whenever I say that you have to design a matching network, so simply you have to move from this center, from this load to the center of the Smith chart. How to move from the load to the center of the Smith chart? By taking the help of what? These circles. And already the sir has shown you how to move and which component to select. Everything was discussed. So we'll just revise those things with the help of the software. Now there can be multiple solutions. So we'll see a few of the solutions first. Like I said that you have to move from this point, this load end, to the center of the Smith chart. So what you can do, you can take the help of this circle, or simply you can see that you want to reach the center, right? So you can see that this dark blue circle that passes through the center of the Smith chart, and this load impedance is what? Lying at what? This red circle. So you can see that these two circles, they are intersecting at this point. This is the one intersection point and this is the another intersection point. So what you can do, you can ride on this circle from here to here, this intersection, that is upper intersection. And from here, you can go to the center of the Smith chart. This could be the one solution. Another can be what? You can start moving from the load, go to the lower intersection. And from here, you go to the center of the Smith chart. Now, when you're moving from one point to the other point, so definitely you will be moving on one of the circles, either this conductance circle or the resistance circle, means the circles from the Z chart or the circles from the Y chart. So one path means one component. So if you take the help of two different paths to reach to the center of the Smith chart, so two components are required. So if the paths are three, then three components and so on. So what we'll do, I will first move from this point to this intersection point. So you can see that if you are going to move along this red circle, there is nothing but the part of Z circle, okay? And you are moving what? Clockwise. So you need one inductor. So I will click on this series inductor here, okay? And I will stop at this intersection point. So now we'll refer the circuit diagram here. So if you are having similar solution, then the first component, it should be inductor, and the value of the inductor is 1.6 nanohenry. Just please check your answer. Have you got same answer or different?
It is 1.59 nanohenry.
Okay, sir. And it's 1.6. So it's good. Now you have reached to this intersection point, but your goal is what? To move to the center of the Smith chart. So you cannot move further on the same path because this will take you away from the center of the Smith chart. So what you can do, now you can see that this dark blue circle, which is part of admittance chart. So this part, this circle, it is passing through the center of the Smith chart. So if you move along this path, then it will be beneficial, because along this path, if you move, then you can reach to the center of the Smith chart. Okay, so once again, you are moving clockwise, but this time there is a admittance chart. Okay, so the capacitor is required, and that too in shunt. So I will just simply click on the capacitor. Okay, click at the center. So the capacitance required is 6.4 picofarad. Have you got the same answer?
Yes, sir. It was 6.37.
Okay, so the first part is verified. So you have got inverted L matching network comprising of one series inductor and one shunt capacitor. And what this circuitry is going to do, it will convert this 10 plus J10 into what? 50 ohm. So the source will feel, if you look at this combination of this load, then series L and shunt C, this together, all these components will appear as a 50 ohm load to the generator. So generator will feel that it's a 50 ohm load only, and the maximum power will be delivered to the load, because C and L both are lossless in nature. So the power will be delivered to the load. There won't be any loss of power. Now we can go for the alternate solution for the same problem. Okay. So I will just remove all this component. For that, you can use this undo button or right click. Okay, I said that there can be multiple solutions. So we'll go for the other solutions also. Now this time what I will do, I will be moving on the that red circle only once again, but this time I will be moving downside, okay, like this. So anti-clockwise on Z chart. So this time I need not series inductor, but the series capacitor, because for clockwise motion, you had selected inductor in series. Now it is anti-clockwise, same chart, but anti-clockwise. So series C. And I will, oh, sorry. I will click at this intersection point, lower intersection, little smaller. Now the capacitor, series capacitor, which is required for the matching is 5.3 picofarad. So if you have the solution for this, you can verify your answer for the second case. Same problem, but the second approach or second alternate solution.
It is 5.3, sir. Exactly same.
Okay, fine. Now I will move on this conductance circle and we'll try to reach to the center of the Smith chart. Since now you are moving on the conductance circle and in anti-clockwise direction, so L is required, shunt L. So I will click on shunt L. Okay, and I will click at the center of the Smith chart. Little deviation is there, you can see from the graph. Actually, you should move exactly on this blue circle, but you can see that the path is little deviated just because of the accuracy issue from my side. Now the inductor which is required to be connected in shunt to transform this 10 plus J10 ohm into 50, the final transformation. So for that, the inductance is 4 nanohenry. So this also you can verify.
So the answer is 3.98 theoretical.
Okay. So the simulated one is also correct, sir. It's verified. Okay, so two solutions here, and both you have worked on both the cases, and both are matched. Okay, now we can go for the other possible solutions. So what I will do, I will just remove all the components. Now, what you can do, see, your final goal is what? To move to the center of the Smith chart, and you can take different paths. Okay, different paths can be taken. For example, I can take one inductor, and instead of choosing this intersection, I will choose the another intersection. I will move there. So one inductor, then from there I will go to the this resistance circle. Okay, this reference which is passing through the center of the Smith chart. Now for that, I will be moving on this blue circle. So blue circle and clockwise. So C is required in shunt. So I will stop here. And from here, I will go to the center of the Smith chart. So now this time anti-clockwise and Z chart. So series C. So this can be the alternate solution, but you can see that here, the number of component has got increased. So you can have different solutions, but at the cost of components. Of course, if you are increasing the number of components, so you will get some other benefit, but at the cost of what? Price, because you are including one more capacitor here or one more component. So the cost of the device, the system, or cost of the matching network will increase. That is the first drawback. Second, none of the components are lossless. So power loss is going to take place. That is another issue. Third, you have to sacrifice the size of the PCB. Okay, if more components are there, then the size of the PCB is going to increase. So these are the drawbacks, but whether you are ready to compromise with these drawbacks or not, that depends on the benefit which you will get from this more number of components. So it's not like if the number of components are increased, so that solution is not good. That may be a good solution also. Now, if you want to ask any doubt, Any queries there, you can raise it. Else we can move ahead.
So you said that if we increase more number of like inductor and capacitor, then there may be an like benefit for that. So can you give any benefit?
The benefit is what? The band is going to increase. So if you are having more number of components, so the bandwidth of the matching network will be more as compared to the band if you are having less number of component. So if you want to operate this matching network for a sufficiently larger band, and if that is your requirement, then definitely you will be ready to pay and you are ready to have little larger circuitry.
Okay, got it, sir.
So there are actually other criteria also to design this matching network, which is called as this impedance matching network using quality factor. Okay, so if you are having less number of quality factor, less low quality factor, means the quality factor is smaller, then the bandwidth will be larger. So if you are having less number of components, so the quality factor is very large actually. And larger quality factor means what? The lesser bandwidth. But our syllabus, that part is not included. That's why we don't discuss that part. Any this time the load is inside. So you can see that here, the load is inside. And the frequency I have chosen is 500 megahertz because I forgot to change the frequency. Okay, so this time our goal is what? To convert this. Okay, I will feed it once again because the load has got assigned with the impedance of 50 ohm. That should not happen. So whichever the information we are feeding first as an impedance, that goes to the load. Okay, so you can see that the load is now 100 plus J25 ohm. Okay, and the reference must be there, otherwise we won't be able to design. So now this time the goal is what? To convert this 100 plus J25 ohm into 50 ohm, but at 500 megahertz. So whatever be the situation, whatever be the values of the impedance, like whether you are inside this red circle, there is nothing but the reference circle, okay, or you are outside this circle. But the condition or the approach to solve this particular problem or impedance transformation problem is it is going to be always same. You have to move from the load to the center of the Smith chart. That's it. And to move from the center of the load to the center of the Smith chart, you have to take the help of circles. So now there are two types of circles: resistance circle and conductance circle, that already sir has told. So this time also we are going to do the same thing. So you have to just check it. So what you can do, like here, you can move from here. Now this time you can see that this load is not falling on any circle. Okay. So actually there are infinite circles because there is a range of conductance and range of what? Resistance. Conductance, it can vary from 0 to infinity. Similarly, the resistance can vary from 0 to infinity. Okay. So there are infinite circles actually, but every circle cannot be plotted here, simply because the entire chart will become purple, red, and this blue. Okay, that's why few blue circles and few red circles are there. So here this time that value of the load is taken in such a way that it is not falling on any circle. But remember that every point which you are plotting on the Smith chart, it is going to be always lie on one red circle and one blue circle. For example, if I take the case of what, 50 real part and 50 imaginary part. Okay, so this time you can see that this particular value is lying here. So you can see that it is lying on this red circle as well as this blue circle because the value was taken in that way. So similarly, if you choose any point like here, you can see at the center. So this is what reference impedance. Reference impedance is always at the center of the Smith chart. So once again, this impedance is lying on this blue circle and this red circle. So every impedance or admittance is going to fall or is going to lie on a red and blue circle if it is ZY chart. Huh? So what I will do now, I will remove this, the third impedance. We don't want that. Okay. Now, since the circle, the blue circle on which this load falls, that is not there, but we will assume that, okay, it is lying on one red circle. You can see that it lies on this red circle. Okay. But considering this circle is meaningless because you can see that if you move on this red circle, so you'll be moving away from the center of the Smith chart. So it's meaningless. But if you look at this blue circle, okay. So similarly, there will be one more circle which will pass through this load and it will be in parallel with this, the appearing blue circle. And you can see that if I move on this blue circle, let us consider this blue circle which is near to this load. So you can move closer to the Smith, center of the Smith chart. So moving on this blue circle is meaningful, but moving on this red circle is meaningless here because it will take you away from the center of the Smith chart. So what I will do now I will move on this blue circle which is not appearing here, but I will consider that there is one blue circle parallel to this circle, this blue circle. So but if I move on that circle, so I can reach either upside or I can reach on the lower side, and I will be shifted on this red circle which passes through the center of the Smith chart. Okay. So what I can do now, if I move suppose upward along this blue circle, so I'm moving in anti-clockwise direction and upward. So one shunt inductor. So now you can see that this is the shunt inductor, and I should take a halt on this resistance circle which passes through the center of the Smith chart. Why? Because I have to reach to the center finally. Okay, so I will click there. So you can see that one inductor of 41.9 or you can say 42 nanohenry. If I connect in shunt, then there will be little improvement in the impedance. Okay. Now from this point, I will move to the center of the Smith chart. So now this time I'm moving on this impedance chart and red circle, but in anti-clockwise. So once again anti-clockwise, but this time impedance chart. So series C is required. So I will click on this C and I will click at the center of the Smith chart, but that is my destination point. Okay, so you can see that I have reached to the center of the Smith chart. So I started my journey from the load. I moved along this path, which is part of what? Y chart. Okay, so one component was added. Later on, from this intersection point, I moved to the center of the Smith chart. So this was the second path. So second path means what? The second component. But this time it is series C. So one inductor and one capacitor. That will transform this impedance 100 plus J25 ohm into what? 50 ohm. Okay, and as I said that you can have more number of components. You can move from this, instead of taking a halt here, you can directly move to the next circle here, and from there you can go to this conductance circle, and from this conductance circle you can go to the center of the Smith chart. So number of components are going to increase, but we are here interested in what? The simplicity of the circuitry. So I can go for the second solution. This time I can move from the load to the lower intersection point, and from lower intersection point to the center of the Smith chart. So the combination of the circuitries are going to change. the series component will change into shunt and shunt will change into series. So the first component will be shunt C, and you can see that I can click at this intersection point here, and from there I can go to the center of the Smith chart. So now this time I will be moving on what? This impedance circle and in clockwise direction. So one series inductor is required here. So I have reached to the center of the Smith chart. Okay. So you can see that L is replaced with C, and C is replaced with what? L. And the impedance transformation is done. Now, one more thing, that the value of this C and L, that depends on the length of this path. If the larger length is there, so definitely there is a very large change in the reactance, and because of which the component values will be very large. Okay, so keep this in mind. So if the smaller is the path, so lesser will be the size of the component, means inductance and capacitance will be of smaller value. Now, if any query is there, you can raise. The first example was inside that 1 plus JB circle, I think, right? It was 10 plus 10, no?
So you can take another values and
Sure. What I will do, now if suppose you are having what? The impedance, which is real in nature, like suppose 200, and the imaginary part is 0. Okay, so it is lying somewhere here. Reference impedance is 50. So you can see both the impedances, because they are real in nature, they are falling on this horizontal line. Okay, so now there are two things. The simplest impedance transformation can be what? You can connect. See, the reference impedance is 50 ohm, right? And this the load impedance is 200 ohm. So matching can be achieved only if 200 gets converted into what? This 50 ohm. Okay. So that can be from the your BEE theory. You are knowing that if you if a certain amount of resistance is there, and if you want to reduce its value, so if you add a series resistor, so that cannot be done, right? Means by adding another resistor in series with the existing one, it is going to only increase the overall resistance. But if you add a smaller value of resistance in series, in parallel, so the parallel combination can be finally reduced. That can be lesser than the taken the first resistance. Like in our case, it is 200 ohm. So if I suppose connect a parallel resistance of what value? 68 ohm here, 68.1. It's not the exact figure because that depends on how well you click on this Smith software, how accurately you position your cursor and click. So it depends on that. But parallel combination of these two, it can be very close to 50 ohm. So you can match your impedance using this technique also. But there is issue with this technique. Why the sir has given you what? That different techniques. Simply because resistive element, they are lossy in nature. So even though, see, if the matching is done, if you are simply interested in what? Matching. So your job is done actually. But the problem is what? The resistor, they are lossy in nature. Okay, that's why resistive components are never ever preferred in the impedance matching technique, only the reactive components. Okay. So even though the matching is done, but these kind of products will never be entertained. But like suppose if this kind of technique is used in mobile phone, so आपका मोबाइल का बैटरी जो चार्ज किया है ना वो बहुत जल्दी डिस्चार्ज हो जाएगा. So that should not be used, right? So what to do? So use reactive component. So what I will do, even though both the components, like the reference impedance, it will be always real in nature, but the load, it can be complex or it can be real in nature, but it should not be purely imaginary in nature. Purely imaginary rahega, so you cannot match that load. You can try that. So now what I will do, I will take the help of what? Reactive component. Once again, the goal is same. You have to move from this load to the center of the Smith chart, but uh, taking the help of what? Circles. You have to move along the circles. So what I will do, similar to the earlier problem, I will click on shunt inductor. So I will be moving parallel to the blue circle you can see, and I will click here at 1 plus jx circle. Why 1 plus jx circle? Because you can see that this red circle is passing through the center of the Smith chart, right? So my goal is what? To reach to the center of the Smith chart only. So that's why I have to now stop here. Or I should move on this blue circle or along the blue circle. If you are moving along the red circle, so you can see that will be moving away from the center of the Smith chart. That's why that is not advisable here. So first component should be shunt component, either inductor or capacitor. That will be the second solution. So now I have reached here. Now from here I have to go to the center of the Smith chart. So this time it's moving anti-clockwise direction and Z chart. So C in series. Okay, so here. Now once again it's L, inverted L, inductor and capacitor combination. But see, this circuitry will be always inverted L, or most of the time it will be inverted L. Both the components can be capacitor, or both the components can be inductor, or one capacitor, one inductor. Okay. Now you can see in this particular example that even though the load was real in nature, but we have used reactive components to transform the impedance. The reason I have already discussed. Do not take the help of resistive component because they are lossy in nature. But of course, the impedance transformation sometimes can be achieved with the help of this real component also. But that is not a good technique. So always take the help of what? Imaginary component, L and C, just because they are lossless in nature. Okay. And the second solution, already you are knowing that you can go from, once again, you move on the blue circle, but move toward in the clockwise direction. Okay. So this time shunt C, I'm moving downside. So I will once again stop on this 1 plus jx circle because that passes through the center of the Smith chart. This time I have to move in clockwise direction. So I will be taking help of series inductor. Now I will click at the center of the Smith chart. So this time it is shunt C and series L, and the impedance matching is achieved. Okay, that is transformation of the impedance from 200 to 50 ohm that is achieved. Okay, so if you have any query related to the two different techniques like impedance matching using resistive component and reactive component, if you have any query related to this, you can ask. Hello.
Sir, I think we will stop here for a day.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay. So